Good day, strategy gamers, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play series, Stalingrad to Berlin. We're on episode 60 now, War in the East 2, and it's going to be another exciting turn 32 here, middle of June. We just wrapped up our, we're about to wrap up our encirclement of Peskov down to the south. We've started encircling Odessa. We're pushing on Minsk, we're pushing on Riga, just all across the board. Things are going very well, and I'm excited to see just how early we might be able to make it to Berlin, or even if we can just blitz through quickly enough if we get enough victory points for a sudden victory before we even reach Berlin. Not sure what that will look like, but based off of what I see from the beginning of this turn, I'm very optimistic about how quickly we're going to be able to win this. I don't think it's next episode, 10 episodes from now, but I don't know that it's going to take us another year worth of recording to wrap this game up. So that's pretty exciting, because we've been doing this now for, what is it, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. So it's already been quite a while, and let's get right on into it. In the Leningrad pocket, starting here as we always do, we see that they've started to pull back some units, and we got some reconnaissance going on as well. And I should mention, there's rain all across the front line. Some of it is looking actually kind of bad, so really just dialed back what we're doing for air operations, and we've actually been suffering really heavy casualties on air superiority, so we have a bit of shortage of fighters anyways. But that's been going on, and the Germans actually did quite a bit of sorties in their phase, and I think it's kind of this desperate act to try to slow us down as much as they can. And they also had even like naval interdiction down by the Crimea and the Odessa and such. But around the Leningrad pocket, you can see they've started to pull back different areas of their front. So here they've pulled back here and down here. This is near Novgorod. They've pulled back some units as they begin their retreat, and one of the reasons for that is, yes, we're about to take Peskov. And get ready for this. This is pretty exciting. But it's also pretty clear we're going to get Riga soon. They've completely pulled back. Now, I don't know if maybe they just pulled back to this territory, which honestly, that's what I would do, because the next 2 hexes that we have to go through, for the most part, are all clear terrain. And when you're being defeated battle after battle, turn after turn, trying to make a stand in clear terrain is just, it feels next to impossible. So if they pulled back to this heavier, more defensible terrain with the swamp and these forests, I would certainly believe that, and it's probably what I would do as well. But the fact that they are pulling back, I think, shows the desperation of their current situation. And also, I think there's going to be a great opportunity, because they've pulled back this entire, look at this entire front they have retreated. I think they've actually opened up a bit of an opportunity for us that maybe we didn't have earlier. And that was, we had focused on taking this rail line all the way straight into Riga, right? You can just literally see this arrow of our offensive as it pushes towards Riga. But I think a new opportunity now presents itself, where we may also be able to use a number of these forces in the northern half of our flank to actually just push straight to the Gulf of Riga to try to cut off Army Group North even earlier than we would if we capture Riga proper. Now, once we encircle Riga and all of that, it's going to effectively be the same as having captured it, and they're not going to be able to evacuate really any troops through these land supply lines. But this is looking really good, guys. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun here on this turn. When we look back to the north, around Leningrad, I'm not going to, this turn, do any attacks anywhere along here, because you see what they did leave. They've had here for a long time fortification levels of 3s and 2s, meaning the defensive combat values are just incredibly high. And we must remember, we did move a couple of armies south, south of Lake Ilmen, to push on Peskov, right? So really, we're not as strong as we were 5 or 10 turns ago around the Leningrad pocket because of that. And we want to make sure these troops are very fresh, that when they start actually pulling back enough of their forces that we can break through, that we have fresh troops and men ready for the chase, right? Trying to break through a line that they're stuck in right now doesn't make much sense. But when they start pulling back, that's going to be the opportunity to really chase, getting some encirclements in, stuff like that. So we're going to hold here for now. When we're looking in this area just north of Peskov, here we might look at some opportunities to actually push north. Because one of the interesting things is that if we can get the portions of these armies that are currently encircling Peskov, if we can get them north along Lake Peipus here to Peipus, I'm not sure the pronunciation. If we can get that army north to Navarra, the river, and cut them off here, that is a much better situation for us, and they stand almost no chance of evacuating these units then. And if we even just threaten that, I think that will trigger the withdrawals of these units. But they're not going to be able to take everyone at the same time. I mean, they need weeks to get these units out of here. So I think what we'll do is, one of the first acts is to see what we want to do about Peskov. And I think we have a couple of options available to us. The first is just obviously, right, we can take this stack of units here, and what we're going to do is push north to knock these guys out. There we go. Now we will take these units back here and move them north to be part of the encirclement of Peskov. However, if we attack now, because we have enough offensive ability to actually take Peskov this turn, if we attack now, this unit will be able to, because of the game mechanics, it will be able to withdraw, right? So they're not going to surrender. Normally, I would be patient and I would wait a turn to make sure that we have a whole turn of having isolated and encircled the unit, so that way we ensure the unit surrenders and we get kind of maximum casualties for them from the siege of Peskov. However, in this instance, every turn matters, because the sooner we close off Riga and the sooner we could maybe get to the river Narva, the more devastating Army Group North will suffer casualties. And this isn't even a full division, right? It is a third of a division. So that means, considering they've probably already had casualties, we're looking at, say, 3,000 men. That's not a huge amount to be surrendering, right? It's not like the encirclement of Stalingrad, where we had entire armies stuck in the city, right, with full hexes worth of units, with tens of thousands of units surrendering in each hex. This is just going to be a couple thousand if they do surrender. So given all of those conditions, I'm actually going to assault Peskov right away. So I'm going to take all of these units and attack. We have 46 to 19. It should be enough, considering the pressures that they've been on from supply situation as well. And yeah, we're just going to go for it. 108,000 men attacking 3,500. They routed. Right? Kind of expected. So now what that allows us to do is it allows us to focus on getting some of these units further north to start pushing towards the river Narva. I'm going to take these rifle divisions up here. We'll take the rifle corps all the way up. And this rifle division will take as well. For example, we're just going to go ahead and actually attack and see what's there. They retreated. It was just a portion of an infantry division, the 335th. And let's see what else we can get up there to help. Let's take that rifle division and that rifle corps. We're going to take all of them and attack here. They retreated, so that was the other element of the 335th. So now we're going to be able to continue pushing north, which is really good news, right? And we'll even take some of these units up, get them moving in the right direction. So this rifle division I'm going to put in Peskov and actually just have them go to refit status, because they are pretty beat up. But I want to take all of these elements that we're trying to surround Peskov and move them north, and they're going to push straight north. And right here, we're not actually going to try to assault these units. We're merely going to go around them. And we're going to be able to take rifle divisions that we have over here, and we're just going to reallocate them into these defensive positions. I think I'll move that guy forward. There we go. And the reason that we did that, by the way, is now we have this road connecting us. So if we need to run any supplies north-south here, we get to travel through this hex on the road with our trucks. And then we can also take this rifle corps. We can move them all the way up there. Look at that. We'll also move up these HQ units, so we keep them within range of the forces. Keep moving up all these guys. 31st Army is going to move north. I think the 10th Guards Army will as well. And the 27th Army, yeah, so both of you I want to go north. We'll just have you move to Peskov for now. The 27th Army elements here will move in the next turns, but they've already had a pretty full day. So those will be the elements that move north, and all along the line here, we're just going to kind of hold the positions, right? Because it's not necessary to do anything drastic here. These guys we've continued to push forward to try to cut off their supply lines. And, you know, on a human level, I feel really bad for doing this, even though these are just pixels in a video game, but I'm going to push them forward again. Because the opportunity, or excuse me, the cost incurred to us by having them be routed again. Well, they actually weren't routed last time, they were just retreated, but even if they rout this turn, our maximum exposure is 2,700 men. But in turn, what we're doing is we're cutting off the only supply that they have north-south to this pocket of units, which is really then going to impact their ability to redeploy and stop our march north. So that's kind of our reasoning for doing that. This is rather interesting. There's a bit of a mirror, a flip that's happened where, you know, now we, in a sense, are kind of army group north of 1941 as the Axis, pushing north to try to race towards Tallinn and Leningrad, right? The roles have really kind of reversed themselves here. So it's really, really strange to be looking at this, because in our other Let's Play, right, as I'm sitting here in south of Leningrad looking at how we try to slow this advance that was marching north. And now we're in another seat. I'm going to move up this. Ooh, yes, this is getting a little tricky now with some of these guys, because the 10th Guards Army is really spread out. So I might need to do some army management off camera. I don't know that I'm going to have time in this episode to do it, where we actually reallocate some of those units there, I think. Maybe I can just do these two real quick. Shouldn't take too long. We have the 52nd Army, which has capacity for them. And then we'll take this rifle division and do the same thing. Perfect. So that helps a lot, I'm sure. There's that 52nd Army. That's the Northwestern Front. They're within range. That rifle division. These two rifle divisions are on refit, so no worries there. Is the 53rd Army lagging behind? It is. So I'm just going to get really aggressive and move them up here. And then I'm going to take the two divisions that are on refit and do the same. So there's that. Now, our push towards Riga. Ah, this is exciting. This is exciting, guys, really. I'm looking forward to this. So what I'm going to do first is what we've had a pattern of doing in previous episodes, where I'm going to focus at kind of the spearhead of our attack and then work my way north and south. So that way I have this cascading effect of knowing where I need my northern flank to move to. But the first thing that I need to identify is where are they? How far back did they retreat? Right? So we know they haven't gone that far. So let's take up that mechanized unit there. Oh wow. So we still haven't come into contact with them. I'm wondering if this is going to be like another Rostov. Let's take this rifle brigade. Let's move them up here. This is looking really good, guys. This is looking really good. Let's take that mechanized unit all the way up here. So we've come into contact with the first unit, which we had a feeling was there anyways, because we had some recon on them. I don't know that I have any infantry that can make it up there, and I don't know that I want to put my tank corps in this wooded area. I really don't know that I want to do that. It's like I think I'm going to take this tank corps forward. There. Where do I have more mechanized units? Here we go. There's a mechanized unit. Bring you forward. I mean, we're 2 hexes from Riga. This is so exciting. Where else do I have mechanized units? Alright, so there's some mechanized corps. Let's bring you up here north. And we're going to bring you... Let's just have you go here. Let's not get too crazy. More mechanized units. Where are you? Alright, here's one more. And with you, I want to see how far north I can get you here. Let's bring you up here to this swamp. Oh, wow. Okay. So, right, what we're going to do with them, right, is we're going to be kind of that little threat of, you know, I'm going to cut you off here. So look at this right now, already in this turn, as long as we fill in the space, which we certainly have the capacity to do, their only route to take Army Group North out now is these 2 hexes. All I need to do is cut off these 2 hexes, and we have effectively encircled Army Group North from, well, yeah, the entire Third Reich. They are behind enemy lines as soon as I take these 2 hexes and hold them. That's just incredible. So for you, I think I am actually going to move up a tank. Oh. Let's get a little crazy here, guys. No, we're not going to get that crazy. That's too easily counterattacked, so we're going to pull you back there. And we're going to hold this hex right here. That's where we're going to hold. And we have more than enough in terms of infantry coming up to be able to support us there. So we'll just be patient. 26 defensive value should be plenty to hold. And yeah, now I can start bringing in all of my infantry to try to hold the line. So let's move you up here. Go there. Take you north. I want to kind of build the perimeter first. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work from the north down. now that I've used up the forces, because this is as far as I want to go. Now I want to build out my front all along here. Let's see where we get to. So these guys have already advanced this turn, which means I can take you forward. Let's go up here. We're gonna push. I think we have an opportunity to push. Just to try to make sure we're thinking ahead. We're gonna take this rifle division south there. Okay. This rifle brigade I'll toss in this forest. Light woods. Sorry, light woods. Gonna have this rifle division go to the swamp here. It's a great defensive hex. Gets us that rail line connection too. We're just really gonna make sure we hold that hex. I don't need to push north west too much here. The priority truly is cutting off Riga and Army Group North and then just holding a line. That's the priority. Let's take you here. You over here. You're on refit status, that's fine. This rifle division can go there. And now just about everything else we're going to push towards Riga. Right, that's where everything else is going to go. We're going due west at best possible speed. Let's move all of you guys forward. Let's take the 28th Rifle Division, and a couple of these areas I might actually reinforce a little. Here, we'll toss you there. Yeah, the 39th Army is up here. I think I will keep some of you together, actually. The armies can get really difficult, or not difficult, but you can so easily forget that you're actually moving units that exist within an order of battle and within armies, that you just forget the organizational structure of. The color coding is immensely helpful, but it's still a lot of pieces to try to track in your head. We'll have you go due west here with the 3rd Shock Army, I think. Just have you go here. You've already moved. 43rd Army is going due west. I want to get the Rifle Corps, for the most part, going towards Riga proper, because that'll be the most difficult to bust through, I think. So that's where I have my greatest concentration of men, right, in a hex. Take that Rifle Brigade down there. That's all looking really good. So I've kind of got my northern flank all taken care of. Now I need to fill in the depth back here. This Rifle Brigade. Wait, let's... It's going to exhaust you, but I kind of want to move you up here. It's Rifle Corps. Have moved up here. Again, Rifle Corps will have you go here in these woods. Come up there. Looking good. Looking good. You're going to march towards Riga. These airborne units, I don't know about you quite yet. I might have you build out some of the southern perimeter here. Let's stretch it and get you there. You're the airborne, right? You can handle the extra march. And you can come due west there. So many pieces. So you come north there. The 4th Guards Army, I'm really going to have to take a look at their organization. Have them come up here to support. I'm going to set them to reserve, actually. Just in case they do counterattack in any of these points with like a Panzer Division or SS Panzer Grenadier Division, right? 8's pretty good at this point with us on the full offensive and just such numbers, but just to kind of give a surprise for them, I think. And then a lot of these guys, I actually am going to toss them in the heavy woods here. It's suboptimal, but I really want to hold this hex. And they can get there this turn, so we're going to do it. And then down here, pretty much all of our tank corps we're going to move forward. Right, you can come up there. You join them. And this is good because this is getting the 5th Guards Tank Army all in one kind of isolated spot as well. But really I want to make sure that we have what we need to push on Riga. Toss you up here too. There we go. So that takes care of all of our tank corps, and now our infantry can just move south here and start building this defensive line. It's like we'll take this rifle corps. I think we'll just move them south to the swamp. This rifle corps will move to that swamp. This little rifle division sit in between. This rifle brigade. Let's first do this rifle division. Let's bring them forward here. Have the rifle brigade sit on this side of the river. There we go. So look at this. Look at how our little concentration of a spearhead has just expanded to this complete V-shaped front. And how much territory we took. I mean, we zoom out here and look at this. This is just a sight to behold. My goodness. All of these units are about to be encircled. 2 hexes away from there being no land route for these units to escape. Not only for them to escape, I keep stressing the fact, right, that they really don't have a way to get out, but just as importantly, they don't have great means of resupply. Tallinn is really their last point of resupply that they have. That's just one port for all of these units. So it is going to be quite the sight as we collapse this pocket. What I am going to do, because this is just so important right now, is I'm going to look at the railroad situation. Because that's critical right now. So let's take you, we're going to have you repair that hex. Move you all the way over here. Repair that. Go up this entire line. There we go. Just move you there, get you a little closer. Now for you, what do I want to connect you to? Do I just go right towards Riga, maybe? I think I do. We go there, there, there. Yeah, and then we'll go this way, I think. Okay. So we're really doing a pretty good job here. These will be repaired next turn, so all of this will turn green next turn. That's really good news. Really good news. Thought I had a third here, but maybe I don't. Okay. We also need to look at HQs, right? So 4th Guards Army can come forward by a lot. Oh my goodness, but now we're getting into all of that stuff. Okay, yes, we're going to do some army management here. So we're going to bring the 4th Guards Army north here. Okay. Then we're going to look at the 2nd Tank Army. They can come just due west. So all their forces are up here. The 2nd Shock Army is really kind of split here. Can I put you right in the middle and have that work? Nope, it doesn't work. Have you move forward. 43rd Army just obviously needs to come forward. Everyone's within range there. 1st Tank Army is way up here, so they can come up. 5th Guards Tank Army is way up there. 4th Army, come up here. Okay. 39th Army is mostly north. So we'll move you there. 3rd Shock Army comes forward here. 34th Army, I'm going to actually move south. There we go. 1st Shock Army comes west. And here we have the 5th Army. Okay, so 5th Army and 34th Army is where I need to move some of these guys to. It's like quite notably this 4th Guard Shock Army. I'm going to move you to the 5th Army. You have capacity for that. That's good. I think I'm going to move. Yeah, hope. Let's see. I think all of you I'm just going to move to the 5th Army. Let's see. I don't know if they'll have capacity for that, though. Yeah, the 5th Army's over capacity now. So we're going to take this guy to the 34th Army. Getting a little better, but we're still not quite there. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at a lot of that off camera, I think, guys. But I don't want to spend all episode diving into that stuff. So we'll leave that as is for now. You know, the fronts are still well within range, but I'm going to move them forward. Take them all up here. There we go. Look at this. Look at this incredible fortune we've had pushing towards Riga. How lucky I've gotten there. So we built out kind of our defensive line up to here. continuing on when we look at the situation, I mean, there's a few points here where we probably could break through. I'm just trying to consider if we want to. Because he can come up and he can just start bullying some of these units, but I don't know if we should. You know, let's do it just to cause them some issue. So we'll attack here. Oh, okay, so an infantry division was committed. Yeah. See, I looked at the paper and I said, oh, I can do that. Okay. Well, he's there now. He's still got plenty in terms of a defensive advantage. Let's move both of you up. And we'll also take this motorized unit. Take you guys and attack. Again, someone was committed to defense. They held. Okay then. So let's set you to reserve. Wanted to go bully someone, and what happens? I get bullied. Let's take this motorized unit back. We're going to take this rifle brigade forward. Just helps get a little bit of refresh stance there. So let's take this guy forward. We can also take the rifle division here forward. And let's start by having you attack here, 10 to 3. So they're doing a very good job with their layers and having units in the rear helping with the defense, but it wasn't enough for them in that time. Let's try again here. Push them back. Move forward there. Let's take both the mechanized units here and push. They retreated. I mean, 253 armor, just they didn't have much of a chance there. Here I want to take the tank corps. I'll take this motorized unit. We're going to have them attack, I think. See, it wasn't great odds, but we just had the better units, the better equipment, etc. for assaulting their position, so we did it. And then with that, I'm going to move the infantry division up to kind of cover their hex. Even if they break through this little pocket, it doesn't, they're just going to ask to be encircled. So, I mean, the zone of control we're projecting into this hex and this hex, they're just, even if they had the movement points to move through, they don't accomplish anything. So we're fine kind of having this every other pattern in some points as we look at pushing against their lines, right? That's why we're making those decisions. Over here, the situation gets a little different. Now we've got a number of units that are on refit back here, and they still need another turn, it looks like. Not this one. This guy's probably good to go. Yep, you're just fine, bud. So let's take you. And I'm going to have you come up here to kind of this city. I'm going to have the rifle corps attack various spots. So we got the air depot. I'm also going to have you attack here. Oh, didn't have enough, sorry. Can the rifle division attack there? Let's do it. Pushed them back. Good. Excellent. Here we've encircled this unit. So let's take all of these guys and attack. 29 to 7 should be enough to break through first time. They surrendered. Just like that, 14,000 men and 32 armor lost. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now what we do is we push up with some of these units. right, to kind of reinforce the line here. So that's all good. Excellent, excellent. Trying to get my geographical bearings. Fulecki Luki, I think, is up here. I mean, one moment, I'm curious now. Still not that familiar with where everything is. Or did I already? Yeah, it's way up here. I'm way off. Way off. I'm thinking of my other match, sorry. So now these guys, they continue to, I mean, look at this for a moment. Right? 20 missions they had here. It's just crazy. And look at how many aircraft they keep losing in each of them. It really is incredible. But they keep doing it, and considering what they have there, I don't entirely blame them. 2 infantry divisions and a regiment. But I think we will once again attack. And we'll just keep wearing them down. Didn't get too far that time. But we'll keep it up. It is a great amount of effort they're putting into keeping that resupplied. Really, it's pretty notable. And we really have enough of a defensive value here that if they do break through, the following turn we'll be able to counterattack them so easily, and they'll lose all of their defensive advantage. So I don't see that happening anytime either. Now, south here, the push towards Minsk really has stalled. We know that. We're okay with that. It's not something I'm worried about because this is the prize, and we're keeping our eye on the prize. So we only really have, in totality, one army, the 20th Army, accounting for the entire spearhead towards Minsk, really. There's a couple of units here from the 3rd Guards, it looks like, in the 33rd Army, but that's it. Right, it's just the one army that we have that's kind of threatening Minsk. And I think what I will do is just in a few areas here where they've actually, it looks like they've pulled back a few forces. I do think I might attack here just to keep them on their toes, right? So what I'm going to do is take this tank corps and I'm going to move them forward here. And we're going to take all 3 of these and attack. And what I want to do is see if we have anything from a support unit perspective that might be of assistance. Ski Brigade, I'm not going to attach right now. Yeah, nothing ready there. Okay. So let's take all 3 of you and attack. 33 to 5. They probably have units in reserve to help with the defense, but let's try to push through, because this is really going to give them some cause for alarm if we're successful. Oh, 12th Panzer. Oh my goodness. Oh. I was hoping for like an infantry division, not the 12th Panzer. So let's take a look here what happened. So they lost 13 army, we lost 37 men, really not too many losses on either side. Yeah, really okay, so that's interesting. The 12th Panzer is not as strongly outfitted as I would have thought. Really just Panzer IIIs. Well, I should say this though. Let's look at okay, yeah. Really Panzer IIIs. Doesn't look like the entirety of their armor forces were actually involved. But they just lost 1 or 2 of each. Our losses mainly focused in the T-34s, which is expected. Lost a Sherman. A token Sherman was lost. Okay. Interesting. Well, so that didn't pan out, but that's okay. I'm going to take the tank corps, move them back, and we're going to toss them right back to a reserve status once again. That's fine. That happened. We're not too disappointed or wound up about it. But what I am going to do is take this cavalry corps and see if they can't have better luck over here. Let's give it a shot. 3rd Artillery Division was committed. And we were successful. Okay, so we did manage to put some pressure on them here. Over in this direction, again, we do have more of an opportunity to push, and I want to do that because if I can push back their lines, it might allow me more of a chance to get like these rifle corps pushed towards Minsk and bring in some of these lighter units that are south of Smolensk to take up defensive positions. So we're going to take this. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm going to take the rifle brigade and attack. No. No, I'm not. I want to do it. I'm going to take the rifle brigade and the rifle division and have them attack. So an infantry division was committed, and they managed to survive the attack. However, now I have an opportunity where I can take my tank corps and attack. Oh, now a 30th infantry division is committed. And the 339th. My goodness. Yes, they didn't stand a chance given all of that. But now let's focus our attack here. And we push them back. Right? So where we failed in one hex, we're successful in another. And that's just how it goes sometimes. We'll move up our rifle corps. And we will also move up this rifle division. And yeah, we don't have enough to push there, which is fine. We'll bring up the artillery to be on reserve still. There we go. I'm actually going to take this rifle corps down here. I'm going to have them push one more time. They didn't have any help that time, so they lost. There we go. Done and dusted. Done and dusted. So we've now broken kind of this side of their defensive flank, which is going to make it easier for us to push through here. And although there are no, say, city strategic objectives that we're looking at here, you'll note that there are more kind of cross east-west rail lines here that I'm kind of interested in. We talked about this a long time ago, probably about 10 turns ago, how kind of one of our focuses was to take Aryol, which we captured earlier than we did some of the other areas we thought we would, and to take kind of this east-west supply line to be able to connect up to Smolensk, because that's really going to help then the supply situation of all of the territory in between, because right here we just don't have quite the same logistics to get these guys supplied. So getting some of these lines that do run east-west is a little important. There's also this double-sided rail line that runs along the river here, along the Dnieper, that I'm interested in getting just to kind of be a base of supply as we move further south with these units. And that's kind of where their defenses are focused, because they can get that supply along there. Looking at these units, I think we'll bring you forward. Don't know if I want to take you guys up. Probably not, because you're just two motorized groups. Really, it's just your 6,000 men, but you have such a high defensive value because you're in rough terrain. That's really where your strength comes from, so I'm going to leave you there. But I am going to look to see where I can push here. And let's also, by the way, just get you a little closer. There we go. Let's see if we need to take you part of the 33rd Army and assign you somewhere else. Can we put you in the 29th Army, possibly? Is the 29th Army now over capacity? You are. So we need to take one of you and assign you elsewhere. So we'll put you in the 33rd Army. I might as well put you there as well. Okay. Small little improvements here and there, you know? looking south here, I really have enough strength to push through either here or here, but I think we'll focus on this hex because we have the advantage of being able to bring both of our hexes to bear. That's 70 to 9, should be plenty, even with those defensive reinforcements they have. Yep, they retreated. Pretty heavy losses on both sides, actually. But we were successful. And what that's going to allow me to do is I'm going to bring these units forward. And I'm now going to try to push here, which is 42 to 8. And they again retreated. Right, so that really helps. We've pushed them back an entire hex here. I can now look at moving forward with you and a rifle corps. There we go. These rifle divisions we will move up. We're on reserve, but we're going to take... Oh, you're already off reserve. Good. And we'll take this rifle corps up. There we go. Set you to reserve. Set this tank corps to reserve as well. Excellent. Excellent stuff. This motorized unit, I'm actually going to just bring this direction because this is where their army is anyways. We can use their forces to help kind of push there. On this side, we're going to push south. I'm going to do so by also bringing down this tank corps to help with that. So let's attack here, 16 to 3. They have infantry division helping. Oh, and the SS Panzergrenadier division. That's not good. So that was a loss. I need to take you back now. Let's try one more time if we can. The 9th Tank Corps. Oh, that's actually us was committed. Okay. They still held, though. Oh, shoot. We've already attacked this turn, so we're going to hold there. We've had a lot of progress here. I shouldn't be saying, oh, shoot. I mean, this has been pretty successful. It's pretty defensible terrain for them, though, as we keep pushing, but it gives us some breathing room here on our logistics as we look towards building a spearhead towards Minsk. Up here, the reason I'm going to keep these guys right where they're at is I just don't want to worry about a counterattack from the SS Panzergrenadier division. Same story here, same story here. And looking across, I mean, in some areas here, like, we'll attack this because it's an area of opportunity, but a portion of the Panzer Division is helping them out. They managed to hold it, looks like. Okay. But now we know. That gave us good intel, though, that that Panzer Division's there, so I'm pretty happy that we found that out. And I think this might actually be where I call the episode to a close. We've got a lot in on this episode, but we're at a good time spot, and it's a good stopping point before we get to kind of the Ariol front for the second half. Fantastic time going through this with you guys, as always. Thank you so much for watching. I'm getting so excited as we look to cut off Army Group North and just all the benefits that will give us as we can then redeploy our entire northern flank to just push straight down towards Königsberg, all along the coast. I mean, we're just going to drive south as quickly as we can after we've taken care of Army Group North. And they won't have the forces or the men available to stop us, frankly. And anything that they redeploy is just going to open up huge holes everywhere else along the front. So I think that's really, we're right at the precipice of the turning point of the entire scenario that's going to allow us to have a victory well ahead of schedule, I think. So, great stuff. Thanks for watching. And as always, Strategy Gamers, hoping you have yourselves an excellent day. Bye now.